Hi, this is Michael Fagelubi with this OmniEd Brief. In this short video, we're going to be talking about organizing the space for successful learning with a special focus on planning for learning. Now, there's a lot of things we could talk about when it comes to organizing the space. When we step back, it could be thinking about decluttering or ensuring accessibility to the frequently used items students will need, setting up the space prior to learning or returning it afterwards to the state that it was in. Wouldn't that be nice if everything got back to where it was supposed to be? While those are all important for organizing the space, we want to think about during the use of the space, how we plan for learning. Now there's four key ideas I'd like you to keep in mind. There are four things that you probably use every day in your job, and they're executive functioning skills that we can pass on to our children that will be especially helpful for them during remote learning. Let's start with the first, creating a reference or a to-do list. Now, in the reference or to-do list, what we're really getting at here is what needs to get done today. Some schools will, over the weekend, or maybe if you're lucky on Friday, send home a list or a packet of things to be accomplished. Sitting down and prioritizing what needs to be done each day during the week, making a checklist of on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday what needs to happen. Now, we don't all have access to that. Sometimes each morning an email arrives with the to-do lists, where we have to wonder exactly where all those materials the student will need that day. We don't want to be pulled away from our jobs while the students are remote learning if they don't have the materials they need to be successful. So with that in mind, start with a to-do list. What's going to happen in that daily schedule? Before lunch, after lunch? What materials do they need to be successful? Let's keep going. Not just making a list, but actually helping your child to think about how much time is this activity going to take? That's really helpful when students are learning to budget their own time. They may think a particular activity is going to take an hour, but you know, actually this is like a 15-minute spelling list activity. We need you to get through those 15 minutes before we move on, or you won't have time to get through everything you need to do before lunch. Students, children, they're not naturally good at estimating that amount of time. If they happen to be a child with an attention issue, like ADHD, then even more so, they're going to need that extra practice thinking about how long should this task take. You might even have the student write down at the end exactly how long did the task take, so you can get a better sense as they're planning their week what it will take to help them be successful. Third, setting a goal with them to identify the items that can be accomplished during their work time. We want to shift what we call the locus of control, or the literally making the decision piece over to the child. Help them to set a goal that's accomplishable. They've identified a to-do list, they've estimated the amount of time that it'll take to do the task, but now really sitting back and saying, yes, I think I can get this done, and then making a commitment to work towards that goal. It's the kind of thing we do all the time in the office, but we need to teach our children during remote learning that setting that goal and being able to work toward it actually builds the persistence and that good belief in yourself that you can be successful. You can actually check off those items on the to-do list as you set each goal. Now, finally, when we select the first item, there's so many things that we can put on a to-do list. Some items are difficult and some items are easy. In our own work, we may tell ourselves that I'm fresh in the morning. What I want to do is take the hardest thing I need to do and tackle it, and that'll get me through my day. But remember, as a child, knowing that the hard thing is first oftentimes can stop them. So what we want to think about is building success. So select the first item, making sure it's something that's doable. Then prioritize the remaining items. But let's let them get a sense of exactly what they can do to get the ball rolling. Building momentum. That's going to lead to long-term engagement. So we're going to move from a list to deciding how long these tasks take, thinking about goal setting so that we actually have a target in mind, and then beginning by sequencing these tasks with first those things that are doable to build momentum, and then we'll get into those hard tasks. I'm Michael Fagelubi, and this has been an OmniEd Brief on how we can plan for learning. Think we missed something? Please share a comment or follow us on omnied.org.